Tonight, we continue to introduce you to people who have or are making contributions to the legacy of Black Americans. Among the many great accomplishments and contributions that Black Americans have made to the United States and the world is music. It's international, it's global. Jazz, gospel, R&B, and hip hop are the most indigenous art forms spreading the influence of African American culture throughout the world. So tonight, we introduce you to a man who is dedicated to spreading Black excellence through the world, to the world through music. Andre SIMS is an accomplished and highly skilled musician. He's graced the stage with notable artists such as Stevie Wonder, Bobby Humphrey, Herbie Hancock, just to name a few. And Andre here is joining us now to talk about the significance of Black music during Black History Month and how he is passing on our musical heritage and legacy by teaching others. Andre, good to have you with us. It's been a while since we've talked. You have been playing music around the world. You have a passion for spreading African American culture through music. What is the impact that Black Americans have on the world through music as you've seen it in your travels?
Yes, thanks, Kelly, for having me. I would definitely say, just to top off in the question, just traveling around the world and being an African American myself and being indulgent to the music my whole life, I definitely would say it's been super impactful for us as musicians when it comes to a communication system, a way to kind of be united and a way to create peace and harmony to the world. You know, it's our message, it's our story. So even as a performer, playing around the world and being able to encounter other cultures, it's definitely been a connecting point where the language may not necessarily be identical, but musically, it's a way that we can communicate emotionally and tell our story. So I really believe that even now, today, it's been just a movement of just being able to keep unity and connectivity together with each other.
Talk a little bit about how Black culture survived through music, during slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, and now and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. I really see it in the sense of when we talk about music and styles, one of the things that just came to mind was thinking about the blues and how that was a way of, like I mentioned just a minute ago, a communication system where through happiness or through grieving of things that we were going through, that was our way of expression. So that was a way for us to be able to express ourselves, to tell our story. And also, and externally, it was a way to kind of give us hope and belief that things will get better. So in the lights of how music today even staying has the same kind of effect. It keeps us grounded in externally feeling that we are going to have a better outcome. There's a better light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. And even for me as a player, I also see it in blues that it's one of those things that I can really express any emotion, right? It's a way of emotional communication to everyone, and without having to necessarily know your last name, your first name, where you live, and all that. It's just a way to kind of respond and be very authentic about it and your expression.
And speaking to the
One of
things
our
that we
great.
go through,
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead, please. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was just kind of dropping a little history in there with our one of our innovators of the blues that made it popular was William Christopher Handy, who was one of the in the 18th centuries one of the guys that really pushed that forward for us. So to keep that legacy going. So just getting knowledge in that.
All right. Now, you created the Andre Sims Piano Music Academy to pass on the legacy to children, to the youth. Why is that so important for not only yourself, but other musicians to continue to pass on the legacy of music to our youth? And how does it help them understand science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math, better known as STEAM?
Yes. So yes, I definitely created an academy, which I acronym is ASP Music, MUZIK. We kind of got slang with the music term, but the idea and concept was to engage a musicians community to come together and to develop the craft and to also give us a place of, like we said earlier, to have an expression and a moment to um, just encourage each other and to just keep moving forward. But I would definitely say, and when it comes to the math that you said about math, there is a similarity in system and how music works in theory when it comes to scales and the things that we use as tools in our music theory to bring this, this music to the world. And also, there's not just notes and chords that we call it in terms, but there's also frequency that we are orchestrating, which I believe is a science behind it. And it's one of those things that, you hear it externally, and to the average listener, they can comprehend exactly the feeling and emotion behind the way we utilize those type of movements in our musical scales, and just systematically. So mathematically, it definitely connects to a lot of the youth and senses of seeing system and how things are built upon one upon another. And when it comes to the physics and the science of it, it's definitely some power behind that frequency and how we orchestrate things and how the sound comes out in response.
It's because it's literally a mathematical frequency, and it gets down to even with young kids, right? The idea of music at an early age can help in growth of the brain and so many other opportunities. But I want to before we let you go, I want to hear some of your personal stories, because you have graced the stage with some of the great modern day contributors like Stevie Wonder, Bobby Humphrey. For those who don't know, Bobby Humphrey was a black woman who broke barriers with her jazz flute. So what lessons did you take from these greats that now you are passing forward?
Yes. Well, I would definitely speak on being 17 years old in the music industry. And I was very grateful to encounter Miss Bobby Humphrey, who took me under her wing and really showed me how things go in music industry. She's definitely left a lot of great nuggets for me when it comes to authenticity and being authentic about like my expression and who I am, my identity, right? Being able to tell my story through the way I hear things, like we're talking about in frequency, and not really being influenced by the things that I've come up on, but being able to speak my voice. And that's something that she definitely left with me, and I'm carrying that on in my legacy and giving that to others in my community as well, and musicians. And also with Stevie Wonder, just being a kid listening to his music and have an opportunity to meet him and to talk with him, develop a great relationship with him. It's been an amazing experience, because he's also showed the same things just from a distance and up close, about how the passion is so important to us as an African American culture. And it's important that we continue to push forward.
Indeed. Andre SIMS, good to have you on. We're going to close the show tonight with some of your music, your composition, Endless Minds. And we appreciate you being on with us to talk about the legacy of music and the great contributions that Black Americans have made historically. And we'll leave you tonight on a good note, listening to pianist Andre SIMS playing his composition, Endless Minds.
Good night, everyone.